President Trump tonight on the verge of signing an executive order that would change the future of cannabis in the United States. 4 sources tell NBC News the EO would fast-track the rescheduling of marijuana, moving it into a category with lower-risk drugs.
A lot of people want to see it, the reclassification, because it leads to tremendous amounts of research that can't be done unless you reclassify.
Since 1970, the drug has been listed as a Schedule I substance in the same category as heroin and LSD. The current classification considers it more dangerous than fentanyl, the primary driver of drug overdose deaths. The president's order would direct the Drug Enforcement Administration to reclassify cannabis as a Schedule III drug, the same category as some Tylenol. With this move, the government would acknowledge marijuana's potential medical benefits for the first time, even though 47 states already allow cannabis use for medical reasons.
Directing my cabinet to review the federal classification of marijuana.
The rescheduling process began under President Biden and has stalled earlier this year due to administrative delays. But President Trump is poised to turn a campaign promise into a reality. Once the rescheduling process is complete, the Food and Drug Administration will be able to study cannabis for medical and scientific purposes. The move could eventually mean that cannabis will be sold at pharmacies. Within President Trump's own party, not everyone is on board.
I joined Senator Budd and a number of other Republican senators expressing our reservations about doing that.
Rescheduling marijuana does not mean it will be legal at the federal level. And it won't help the tens of thousands still sitting behind bars for nonviolent cannabis offenses.
It's awfully hard to have people all over the jails that are in jail right now for something that's legal.
Robert Deals, a retired Air Force veteran, has been in prison for the last 15 years.
Him and some associates were offered cannabis by undercover officers. He attempted to flee in this and was given 18 years and charged with possession and intent to sell.
His daughter Alicia says she's grateful for the step forward.
But we truly have to acknowledge the true harm that's been done and how much more we have to do.
The war on drugs, she says.
It was a war on minority communities.
Today, Alicia and her family own a legal dispensary in Arizona.
We have turned burdens into blessings. We are flourishing in the business. But it's something, a very, very bittersweet win. My father is still incarcerated.
And Julie Sirkin joins us now from Capitol Hill. Julie, as you mentioned there, this is a step, just a step toward reclassification. How long could all of it take, and what else could this order include?
Yeah, it's just a step, Allison, but it's such an important one. We talked about the long, drawn-out process that started under then-President Biden, what this executive order would do, which I'm told just a couple of minutes ago that the president is expected to sign it tomorrow afternoon, so that would be huge, although, of course, the timing could always shift. This order would essentially fast-track the rescheduling process. Pam Bondi or the DEA administrator would have to sign off, and then we could see action happen pretty quickly. Of course, everything is bureaucratic, but if and when it's finally signed off on by the AG or the DEA administrator, that means the FDA would soon be allowed to start researching cannabis for medical and scientific reasons. You also asked me what else we could see in this EO. I heard quite a few things. The most important one that members of Congress in my usual post are paying attention to is the Safer Banking Act. It's legislation I've been tracking for years. It's bipartisan. It has passed in the Senate before and then went nowhere in the House. It would unlock banking and financial institutions and access to major banking institutions for legal cannabis businesses, and for people who buy cannabis at those legal cannabis businesses, it means they might be able to pay for it with a credit card. So big things happening with this EO. Of course, we'll see it when it's finally rolled out as soon as tomorrow, but certainly a monumental step and a huge one, I might add, coming from a Republican president. Allison?
Julie Sirkin, indeed.